is up, and welcome back to another episode of So There's That. I am your hostess, doing the mostest, Kimashi, and y'all found season 2, episode 18, Missing While Heather. I took notes and I told myself, Key, look at your notes and let it be a guide. But I fear ADHD, ADD, and intrusive thoughts are about to take over this podcast episode. So I apologize in advance if I'm all over the place, if it's a little bit spastic, if it's a little bit insane, because I cannot believe that in episode 18, they gave us this and we still have 4 more episodes to go. Before we get into everything, I am filming on my Osmo Pocket again, and I have the new this new like microphones and stuff that I'm trying out for when I do interviews. So if the audio sounds like a little bit more compressed or soundproofed, it's because I'm looking for things that kind of like get rid of a lot of the ambient noise in a large space, because I do film in my living room and it keeps like the echo and, like I said, the ambient noise from being out, and it makes it sound like I've been in an actual audio booth. You know what I'm saying? We're going to do the cheap way, the affordable way. Okay. But before we get into episode 18, we got to talk about the episode that I missed last week, that somebody was all on my Instagram trying to clock me. Like, girl, where you at? I'm like, time out. Nobody else called this out, girl. Why are you? But last week it was, I think, missing while misidentified. Here's the things that happened in last week that pertain to today's episode. Jamie is more and more confirmed as being Jamie. Okay. Margaret ends up meeting Heather for the first time. She hadn't met Heather this entire time and ends up doing her whole superpowers, Margaret vision, and realize that she shares familial traits with Sir. And she tells Gabi, baby, that's Lena. Her name is not Heather. Okay. So when Margaret goes back to see Sir at the end of the episode, she was like, listen, I just want to let you know that I'm on to you. And you already know my superpowers, so my eyes are trained on you, baby. My son is back. I got all the time in the world to focus on everything else because he is back in my care. And Sir was like, really? Because it seems like the clouds come out, or whatever he said. Let me see. I wrote it down. He said, the clouds will always part. You just have to give it a minute. And she said, a what? And he goes, yeah. That's what Jamie said his mom always told him. I assumed it was you. And baby, right there, it is confirmed. This is her son, and she knows exactly who took him. Okay, I'm putting my notes down. I got hella notes, but we're putting them down. I literally just finished this episode 3 minutes and 35 seconds ago. That's when I just jumped on here. I finished it. I jumped on here. I don't have time to change. I don't have time to look cute. I'm sorry. We're not matching Gabby's vibe, baby. Even Gabby had the same outfit on from the last episode to this episode. So, show me some grace if you're watching this on YouTube. Where do I want to begin? Okay. Missing While Heather. We are on the hunt for Heather, or whoever she is. So at M&A, they got her image all up on the screen. They're going through everything, but Margaret is nowhere to be found. But it's cool. We're going to get to Margaret later. But I just want y'all to know she ain't nowhere to be found. Trent ends up going back to M&A for whatever reason and ends up seeing Heather on the screen. And that was right when Lacey was like, we need to tell him what's going on. So all of these things are converging, and they're just like, Mark, you got played, okay? And she's an expert at this. Like, it's cool. So he's like, no, I have to go and I need to confront her. And they're like, dude, if we're saying she's Lena and the accomplice of Sir, that means she self-inflicted herself with a gunshot wound and killed Christian. Like, what is not clicking? He's like, well, I was in a relationship with her. She was my girlfriend. I'm gonna try to get her to come in. Okay, my dude. So how he gets her to resurface during a storm is he goes to the judge and he tells the judge that they had a romantic relationship. So she shows up to his job because she's like, I have a recusal letter saying that I need to recuse myself as Sir's lawyer because you said that we have a relationship. Now, mind you, like 2 episodes ago, she was like, I thought we had something real. But now today she was like, oh, you said that we had a relationship? Gross. And while she comes there, he's pulling up all of Christian's um, evidence boxes. And he's trying to lay it on sweet, but baby, if she's her sister, she is not dumb. So she leaves when he's like, let's just go, let's just talk. You said you wanted to talk it out. I have time now, baby. Like, what's up? And at this point, we're just gonna call her Lena. And Lena's like, I gotta go. And from then on, Lena is in the wind, okay? She is blending in with this snow, and you are not going to find her. So the hunt is on, okay? At this point, Gabby's like, look, I need to go in to see Sir. And everybody's like, no, you've been doing so good. Don't go see him. She's like, it's cool, it's cool, it's cool. I've been seeing Ethan. I'm stronger now. I'm better now. I'm wiser. I'm stronger. I'm wiser. I'm better. Much better. And she goes to prison to go see Sir. Oh, well, she sits down and she's like, is Heather your sister? And he was like, did Margaret tell you that I gave her a clue on finding out who her son's kidnapper was? And she's thrown because Margaret ain't talked to nobody all day and they've been trying to reach her, but she ain't been answering her phone. So she's just like, I don't think I believe you. So at this point, Ethan's like, baby girl, let's go. We don't have time for none of this. And Sir has to remind her, baby girl, I am a kidnapper. I am a manipulator. Okay, I will gaslight and I love puzzles, but I am never a liar. And it's all like hitting Gabi that he has never lied. So Gabi's like, Ethan, you need to go get with the team and figure out where the fuck Margaret is, and I'm gonna get these things situated. It wasn't but 30 seconds after Ethan left, all of the power went out in DC. So the power is out where Zeke and Lacey are. The power is out at M&A where Dhan and Trent are, which is crazy. They're actually working together. And the power is out in the prison. What does that mean when the power is out? Baby, those mechanical locks, they are open and there is a woman on their midst and they are trying to get their prison penises wet. Sir ain't having none of this. And also, the guard is on Sir's side too. So what's going on as they're trying to break into the room? Gabi, Sir, and the guard is beating everybody ass. But the guard tries his best to try to get everybody distracted to at least get Gabi out and to protect Sir. You know, they built a relationship. Sir has been helping him help his own kids with their homework, all types of stuff. And Gabi's all like, this is how you've been getting to all of my cases. And it's like, girl, she's going through this whole, I need to seek penance. I need to make sure Ethan is okay. And I'm not going to stay in here. And Sir has put them both back into his cell and has Jimmy rigged it shut. Helped her get a shiv. And he's like, girl, do you know what they are trying to do to you? Like, for once in your life, can you please listen? Like, let's just put everything aside and survive, okay? Our homeboy got a phone. You can call out. We can see what we can do. And we're going to fight our way through these hungry, nasty, disgusting men. But you need to listen. And in this entire prison scene, I'm just like, it's always like free Sir. But it's really like Gabi, this guilt trip, this calling and to save Ethan and my penance, and maybe I'm meant to be here and all of these other things. And it's just like, oh my God, here we go again, girl. Take the win. take the help. Like, we understand and we get it. It's such a complicated relationship because like I've been saying, somebody who you loved when you were a teenager kidnapped you and he did not treat you well. And so you're still 20 years later trying to reconcile with the fact that he is both a monster and a savior. And we get it, girl. But this is neither the time nor the place to be trying to like reconcile any of this information. Like, it's literally life or death. Like, it's life or death. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Zeke, y'all already know his agoraphobia, and it comes into play. I love when it comes into play, to be honest, because we get to hear Zeke talk more and more about his own familial kidnapping, and we get to see all of the other ways in which he's triggered. So when the power goes out, his backup generators don't be working either. So he's freaking out on the fact that he cannot see anything, and then all of his security to keep people from coming in is offline. And so he is just like going down. The walls are closing in on him. Lacey is trying to get him to anchor to her voice, and nothing is working. And so a moment where they was kind of, getting their little freak on, getting their little kisses and stuff in, and we're leaning into this potential relationship, it's immediately upended by just all of the trauma that he has not and refuses to acknowledge in his own kidnapping. And it's really frustrating to Lacey, like, bad, as things kind of like mellow out with everybody else. And we'll get to that because, baby, I got to say Margaret for last. As everything else kind of mellows out, Lacey's like, okay, what's up? Because what that was is not your normal, like, panic mode. Like, what's up? He was like, I'm good, girl. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool, girl. We good. And she's like, if we are even thinking about potentially getting into a relationship, you need to open up and tell me what's wrong. Like, I don't I don't necessarily have the answers, but like, we need to share. And he's like, well, if you can't respect my boundaries, then maybe we should keep this a little work thingy. And so Lacey's like, nigga, I done survived 2 kidnappings. You know what? Here's your funky ass key, and I'm out. And she left. And I love that because we're not going to be playing these games. It's going to be good morning, sir, good afternoon, sir, good evening with Zeke until he finally decides to get his shit together. Because, like, in the place that you work, the fact that you're still taking this position with your own recovery is ridiculous. But to not only do your friend like that, but a potential romantic partner like that, because you don't want to open up, you could have easily just been like, I'll talk about it soon, eventually, but right now, let's just focus on, the aftermath of all of these events. But to be like, oh, well, if you're not going to respect my boundaries, then we can go back to a work thing. And I hate when people misuse boundaries in that way, because it's like, she's respecting your boundaries, but she's saying if you want a relationship, you need to open up. So trying to use the term boundary to keep this wall between y'all, baby, you never gonna have no girlfriend. You ain't gonna get out this house. You ain't gonna emotionally leave, like nothing. You will be trapped within yourself forever. So shout out to you, Lace. Shout out to you for choosing yourself and recognizing your own worth and the fact that you deserve more. Now, moving on to Margs. My good sis heard that phrase from Sir, and she took her ass back home and pulled out that drawing, and we went to the flashback of somebody talking. It was like, yeah, my son drew this for me and always say this or whatever. And we see a face, and it was a face of somebody that we've seen in flashbacks before. One of the main people helping her put up flyers and just kind of like tend to her and do all these other things. And her name is Carrie. When I tell you to behead this lady, behead. But what I love about Margaret is she invites her over and she's like, hey girl, guess what? I know the last time we saw each other, tensions were high, but I told you and I promised you that if Jamie ever came back home, I would call you. Baby, Jamie is back home. And she's like, oh, I would love to meet him. Yeah, sure. And Mark's like, listen, kick off your shoes and relax your feet. Let's play some games. So the power goes out everywhere. So of course it goes out there. And Marks is like, listen, it is unsafe out there. Let me just get some candles and we can still share and we can still talk about some things. And so they're playing Scrabble and Carrie is getting real fidgety and she's just like, you know what? I should leave. And Margaret's like, no, I have a really good word right now. Hold on. I'm about to get triple and double score across two rows. And it spells out traitor. And she's like, bitch. She didn't say that, but that's what she should have said. She said, bitch. I know it was you. You sat in my fucking face for a year and lied when you took my son. Oh, baby, I got plans for you. And when Margaret was temporarily distracted, she clocks her over the head with a bottle. So she's standing over her and she's just like, you weren't good enough for him and you weren't a good mom. And I did everything. And, God took my first child and they gave me the opportunity to have another. It's me and Nicholas for life. And during that time, Jamie is going to see Margaret because everybody's looking for Margaret. He knows where her house is. And in the last episode, he's so focused on her, he's even calling her mom, like genuinely concerned about her safety. So he shows up and he's like, oh my fucking God, like my kidnapper and my real mom is here. So he's asking questions and she's like, oh my God, like Margaret, she fell and hit her head. But Nicholas, it's cool. Like, let's go, let's go. I already called the paramedics. And little Saint Nick is like, okay, well, let's just stay here till the paramedics get here. She's like, no, let's just leave. Like, it is what it is. And then he starts putting two and two together and was just like, why the fuck are you here? And why wouldn't we stay to help her get better? And she's like, Nicholas, remember everything that I said. She's not good for you. She doesn't love you. She doesn't want you the way that I do. It's me and you and me and you forever. And he's like, my name is Jamie, bitch. And I'm going, hey, she deserved all the B words. Um, and so he tends to his real mom while Carrie flees in the wind. So he gets her to the hospital and she finally comes to and she ends up seeing the whole M&A family and she's just telling them everything that's going on. And now in show, they don't confirm that Sir is the reason that she figured it out, but obviously we're going to assume that Gabi put all of the pieces together. So Jamie is like fully on board with Margaret, and you can see that he feels so guilty. And honestly, we haven't heard a season 3 renewal yet, but it's just, I really want them to explore unpacking what that's like, and specifically with Gabi, what it's like to be kidnapped by somebody who loves you, by somebody who didn't torture you, by somebody who fed you, clothed you, educated you, poured into your interests. And I think that something very beautiful can come from him diving into those feelings, not only with a therapist and then a family therapist with Margaret, but just conversations and a friendship akin to like a little brother with Gabi. Because she's the only one, and Zeke, but Zeke ain't talking to nobody and he got bigger problems. But I think Gabi would be willing to share that feeling with him, and I think we would be able to know more. And I think his relationship with Gabi would have him open up more to the police and make it a little bit easier and feel less guilty with helping DCPD find Carrie. At this point, she can't go too far because it's a blizzard. So I'm hoping in the next couple of episodes or by the end of the season, she take her ass to jail, because what she did was diabolical. But to fully get the chapter closed on the Jamie situation and to get that final confirmation, especially because the DNA results have been delayed and all types of other stuff, to get this final confirmation like this is my Jamie. They can finally go to the public with this. She can finally go to her alleged two daughters, even though we only ever see and hear about one by name and by face. And maybe even her ex-husband. Wow, I've been accusing him for episodes, but it would be incredible to see what this revelation and what this truth does, not only to M&A, but what does that look like for Margaret putting her life back together. So there's that, guys. There's that. Oh my God. I done hit this microphone. I am so sorry for what that sounds like. Um, this is crazy. I'm ready to dive into the next episode. I made sure not to watch the next episode before I sat on here because I didn't want to be influenced by any new knowledge. This is insane. If y'all see my, oh my God, let me show y'all my notes. Oh my God, like can the, oh my God, I don't, wait, let me get this. Like, look at my notes. Look at my notes. Y'all probably won't be able to read it, but look at these notes. Look at these emojis. Like, I literally was just writing down that's not even all of them, y'all. Oh my God, I got tomatoes in here. I got like the shock face. Like, this entire episode just had me gagged. And I was just like, we have 4 more episodes left. What is happening in the finale? Like, this is crazy. And something that I didn't necessarily speak to fully in this episode, but that I can talk to, and I need to talk to it quick because it's a little light behind my eyes. My pocket is dimming. But this was kind of Sir's redemption arc. Especially because I don't think that Sir knows or believes that Lena killed Christian. He was very shocked when he found out Christian was dead, and I think he maybe had an inkling that Lena had something to do with it, but I think he was really trying to accept the suicide to make himself feel better. And I think once he finds that information out, he'll be willing to turn on Lena. Some other things that came out in this is when she went to go visit Sir in jail and it was actually confirmed. Baby, we're going to need some flashback episodes. If they do not find Lena by the end of the season, we're going to need to open up season 3, episode 1 with some flashback episodes because he told Lena to her face, you may be smart, Gabi is smarter than you. And she is pissed. She's just like, this thing that you have with her, I'm your family. He was like, you've never understood what we have, which makes me believe that Lena has always known that Gabi was there, even all them years ago. I know in my gut that Lena knew that Sir kidnapped Gabi. And I believe that Lena was watching, even though she never made herself visible. I believe that when Sir would be out and Gabi would be left on her own in the house, I believe that Lena was somewhere hiding and watching her and not understanding her brother's obsession with this girl, because the way that she is so angry every time Gabi's name is mentioned, it's giving 20 years of hatred. Like, it's crazy. And then normally I like to save stuff for y'all to just go watch the episode, but y'all, with a real Heather Tollins, please stand up. Gabi was getting ready to go see Ethan for an emergency session when a lady showed up in the middle of the storm and was like, I heard y'all are looking for me. My name is Heather. Heather Tollins. Bruh. This is incredible. I swear to God, NBC, if you do not announce the renewal this week during upfronts, I'm going to LA and I'm going to Comcast NBC Universal headquarters and I'm causing a ruckus. I will riot, I will picket, and we will have a big problem because what do you mean? What do you mean? Like, I need episode 20. I mean, it needs to happen this week, but sure, I'll give y'all till episode 20 to announce season 3 renewal for Found. And on the heels of that, you can also announce season 2 for Brilliant Minds because I'm still on y'all ass, okay? I'm not letting up. But yeah, that's going to end this episode of Found, season 2, episode 18, Missing While Heather. Oh, God. Talk to me in the comments. I don't know what to do with myself. Y'all already know the drill. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Again, share that Spotify link or that Apple Podcast link. Find me on Instagram at So There's That Podcast. You can also find me on TikTok and Twitter at Kivanchi. Of course, you can always see me on the live tweets. And just to let y'all know, in case you haven't been tracking, we have this episode, which is episode 18, which aired on April 10th. And the next episode is airing on Monday, April 14th. NBC has done a lot of shifting and a lot of moves with some of their programming. So just be on the lookout for all the things that you've seen on a Thursday and what you've seen on a Sunday. It's been spread out across Monday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday for NBC drama programming. So just want to let y'all know and remind y'all on behalf of NBC, they're not paying me for this, but y'all already know I love doing this. This is like the best side job that has slowly become a full-time job over the course of like 9 months. And I love it here, okay? And I hope you love it here too. And with that, I'm gonna catch y'all in the next episode.